Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy. So before starting today's session, I would like to have the input as well as the concurrence regarding the quality of video as well as audio. If it has been perfect, just write perfect over the live chat. And then we are going to start today's session. As you can see over the thumbnail, my basic concept to learn the concept of the probability with the help of CTQ. We are going to take few number of questions which are already been asked in previous year. And at the same time, I would also take few number of self-designed question with the help of those many questions. I won't take more than 15 number of questions. I will try to almost communicate all of the important concepts related to the word problem based on the concept of probability, which are been repeatedly asked in GATE examination. So I would like to know from each one of you, are you been ready for this given question? So what I'm going to do for the each and individual question, I'm going to show that question over the digital board, and probably 3 minutes span of time would be given. And within that 3 minutes span of time, you had to read the problem thoroughly. You had to try this question out by yourself, and you had to put its answer over the comment box. So here comes the first question. Anyways, let me start the timer first, and then we will move forward. Just a minute. So let me go back into the working board now. So here comes the question. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. This question has been asked in mechanical engineering in year of 2003. The problem was framed by IIT Madras. What the problem states: a box contains 5 black and 5 red balls. 2 balls are randomly picked out, one after another from the box without replacement. The probability for the both of the balls to be red is, the 4 different options are being given along with this problem. Tell me what must have been the best most answer according to you. Tell me what must have been the best most answer according to you. Read the problem carefully, and for the each and individual question, approximately 3 minutes span of time would be given. Tell me what must have been the best most answer. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer. Anyways, this problem should not take more than 90 seconds. So at max, I will be providing approximately 90 seconds for this given question. Anyways, let me stop the timer. My dear friend, once you'll focus over this question, at least the thing would be known. We have got a box, and within a box, total 10 number of items are been there. Among them, the 5 are been black in balls, and similarly 5 are been the red balls. So why don't we sketch this problem over the working board just to understand in the problem into the better way. We had a box over here. Among them, 5 balls are being red in nature, and similarly 5 balls are being black in nature. Agreed? We had to take one ball out, we had to observe its color, and we had to discard it. We don't have to keep it back because this problem has been designed in that way. And then we had to find the probability that the first ball which has been withdrawn is been red, and the second ball which has again been taken out is been red. Keep in mind, this kind of problems can be bifurcated in the 2 parts. First part is been all of the balls are being selected together, and the second part is been the balls are being selected in consequence or in succession. And within in succession, this can be further bifurcated in the 2 part with replacement or without replacement. So whenever we come across a problem where we had been selecting or collecting the items, basically the problem can be bifurcated into the 2 part. First is being together. That means the amount of items which are being selected from the bunch of the sample space, they are being collected together. The second kind is going to be they are being selected in succession, one after another succession. And even within succession, it can be further bifurcated. The first item which has been taken out, whether it had been put it back or it had been discarded, or I should say with replacement and without replacement. With replacement and without replacement. And if you had a fair idea about these three different cases, I can bet you the problem related to this kind can be easily smashed. Problem related to this kind can be easily smashed. So let me watch the problem carefully and figure it out. The problem falls in which category? So here it had been clearly written. The balls are being picked up one after another without replacement. So obviously the problem falls in this category. And it had been clearly given, I need both of the balls to be red only. How it is possible? Just try to figure it out. At very beginning, we had total 10 number of items. Among them, the 5 are been red and the 5 are been black. How many different ways the one ball which must have been taken out from this 10 number of balls, which is supposed to be red? You could have chosen either of the 5 ball, out of total 10 number of balls. So this has been the probability that in first withdraw, the ball which has been taken out is been red. And why and? Because I had been withdrawing ball 2 times, and that too inconsequent. And keep in mind, I also want the second ball to also be red. My dear friend, what's the situation has been? The situation has been different. One red ball is already been taken out, and it had been clearly written that the ball had not been put it back. It has been completely discarded. So you can say in out of 10 number of item, 1 items is already been discarded. So in my sample space, the number of items which are been left out is been simply 9. And at the same time, the ball which has been taken out in last time was red, and the out of 5 number of reds, only 4 reds are been left out. 4 reds are been left out. Once we'll multiply them together, the 5 4 is going to be 20, and towards denominator side, it is going to be 90. The result is being simply 2 divided by of 9. So as far as this problem is being concerned, the best most answer must have been 2 divided by of 9. 2 divided by of 9. What I say, let me change the structure of this problem a bit. Here, I had taken one ball after another, but the replacement had not been made. If I say the replacement is being made, what does it actually mean of it? That means you had been searching a probability that the first ball had been taken out. It has to be red. It has been fed back. Again, the second ball which has been taken out, it should also be a red only. That's been the basic difference. So if we talk about that situation with replacement, so may I know what is going to be the probability in that case? Again, I want the 2 red ball. Let me focus over the first trial. I had raised one ball out and I want that ball to be red. How many total number of items we had within this box? The 10 number of items we had. And how many different ways I can satisfy myself? Obviously, 5 different ways I could have satisfied myself. Either I had taken first ball, second ball, third, fourth or fifth. Either of the balls are been red ball. So the 5 different ways I could have satisfied my requirement to be a red ball. And whenever the and do come into the picture, the multiplication takes place. The second ball should also be a red, but the ball which has been seen as a red had been again fed back. So what had happened last time? Last time one ball had been taken out which was red, and that is why the complete sample space was affected, and rather having 10 number of items has been reduced to the 9 number of items, rather having the 5 number of balls has been reduced to the 4 number of balls. But what had happened now the sample space is being completely untouched, and as the sample space is being completely untouched, again we are going to have a 10 number of items. 10 number of items, and again the favorable number of items are simply 5. If I say what is supposed to be its outcome, the outcome is simply going to be 5 divided by of 10 raised to the power of 2. Raised to the power of 2. So I can say this has been the first category of the problem where the balls are being taken out in succession without replacement, and here the balls are being taken in succession with replacement, and that's been the basic difference between them. So this could have been the first kind of the problem what I am saying. This could have been the first kind of the problem, this one, first kind of the problem, and this could have been the second kind of problem, second. Even you can have a third kind of a problem as well, third kind, where I want the same situation. Both of the balls has to be red, but now the balls are not been selected in succession. They had been selected together. So now I want both to be red, but the balls are been selected together. Balls are been selected together. So may I know what would be its probability? Now it is simply going to be the ratio of the number of favorable event divided by the total number of events in my sample space. My dear friend, total 10 number of balls we had. How many different ways the two balls could have been selected out of 10 number of items? Obviously, it is simply going to be 10C2. Either I could have selected the first one and second one, maybe second and third one, third and fourth one, first to third one, first to fourth one. How many different ways the R items could have been selected out of n number of items without having its order in my mind? It is simply going to be NCR. Anyways, I am not going to the detailed analysis of the probability part because that is not been my area of concern, because only few days are been left out for your gate examination. So what had been happening? If we'll talk about how many different ways the selection could have been done, obviously, sir, this could have been done in 10C2 different ways, 10C2 different ways. But among them, how many ways are been my favorable ways? Obviously, any of them out of two. And this has been the best most answer, which I can produce over this given question. So this has been the answer for the question which we were expecting. I repeat, this kind of questions can get asked in three different patterns. First, all of the items are being selected together. Second, the items are being selected in succession or one after another. And within succession, you can further bifurcate the problem in the two part, whether the replacement is being made, the ball which had been taken out, the item which has been taken out, after observation had been fed it back within the item or it had been discarded. That's been the first kind. And the second kind is going to be with replacement. You had observed that item and again you had fed it back within the same sample space. Could you really understood how three different ways or three different problems could have been figure it out from the same concept itself, So I think it's been the right time I should also take the next question as well. This problem has been asked in GATE Agriculture Engineering in year of 2019. The problem was framed by IIT Madras. Two cards are withdrawn at random and without replacement from a pack of 52 playing cards. Obviously, we had a standard deck of cards which contains 52 number of playing cards. The probability that the both cards are black rounded off to 3 decimal places is. Read the problem very carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. The kind of the questions which we have taken just now, category is almost same. The same concept can be applied over here as well. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the answer. What must have been the answer? What must have been the answer? I would like to have the input from each one of you, the student who have been live. This would also comment their answer as well. So at least I'll feel a connectivity. Let me focus over this question. What the problem states? Two cards are drawn at random and without replacement from a pack of 52 playing card. Nowhere it had been written that the cards are being taken in succession, but still they had given a hint that without replacement the complete process has been made. What does it actually mean of it? That means definitely you must have taken one card out, you must have been discarded it, and again you must have taken another card out. So that is been the basic crux behind this given question, and that is been without replacement. Obviously, succession without replacement. So let me focus over this question. We had a well shuffled 52 number of cards. We had well shuffled 52 number of cards. Yeah. And in 52 number of cards, as you know, there have been two different categories of its color. The first is been black and the second is been red. Within black, you will be getting half of its card, that is been 26, and the remaining 26 are going to be red in nature. So the examiner understand that this part has been clear to you, that the 52 number of playing cards are been 26 in red in color and remaining 26 are been black in color. That part, the person understand that this part has been known to you. Now what we want to take two cards out one after another in succession, and that too without replacement. I want that the both of the color should be black. How it is possible? I must have taken one card out that must have been black, and that black card must have been discarded, and now again I had to take one card out, and that should also be black. That should also be black. How it's possible? In 52 number of total cards, in total different 26 different ways this was possible. I could have taken any of the card out which has been black in colored. And my dear friend, that black card is already been selected, and now it had been thrown out, it had been discarded, or it had not been included back. There could be different ways of representing the same question, and as it had been happened, so now the number of cards which you have within a deck of card is not been 52, now it had been decreased to 51. And at the same time, the number of black card which we had earlier had been decreased to 25. So what you had to do, you had to just multiply them together, and end of the day you had to get its answer as well. End of the day you had to get its answer as well. So till this point I don't find any of the student would have any kind of doubt now. Now what I'm going to do, now I'm going to design a question. Again I had got a bucket or box, and again here we had a few number of balls. Let's take yellow ball we had, green ball we had, and at the same time blue balls we had. If you are able to figure it out, all kinds of the question which have been framed over this structure, no, probably you will be able to smash any kind of problems related to the probability where the concept of the combination has been used. Let's take the number of yellow balls are been 3, green balls are been 2, and blue ball has been 1. So total 6 number of balls we had within this box. The box contains 6 number of balls. 6 number of balls. 6 number of balls. Let me design few number of questions. The first question has been, 2 balls are taken together. What is its been probability? What is been its probability? The first question, both green. The second question, both yellow. Third question, both is been blue. My dear friend, one thing must have been clear to all of us. The kind of question which we had taken, we exactly know how many number of items we had within our collection. Total 6 number of items we had. That is quite sure. And now the items which are been selected, collected, or withdrawn, there have been 3 different terminologies which are been repeatedly used in gate examination or probability. And so out of 6 number of items, the 2 items are been selected or collected consequently or together. I want that the both of the ball must fall from the category of green. How it has been possible? Towards denominator side, we will focus how many different ways the 2 ball together must have been selected out of this 6 number of balls. May you know how many different ways? Either you could have selected the first ball and the second ball and third ball and fourth ball, first, fourth, put together. Total 6 different ways you must have selected the 2 ball out of the bunch of 6 balls. Among them, how many number of events are been your favorable event? That has been my area of concern. I want both of the balls to be green. Obviously, there are only been one possibility that the both of the balls which are being taken out has to be green, because you had got only 2 number of balls. So that is simply going to be 2 items out of 2 items. Anyways, 2C2 stands 1 only. So whatever the answer you get, that is going to be the answer, that both of the green balls which are being selected together is being green. Now let me take the next question. Anyways, the feature of the question had not been changed. Still all of the balls are been withdrawn together. There had not been succession. There had not been any replacement or without replacement, because all of the balls are being taken together. Again, if I say how many different ways the 2 balls could have been taken out. Did you really understood what exactly I wanted to communicate? Just try to understand in this way. The 3 number of yellow balls we had, 2 number of green balls we had, and similarly 1 number of blue balls we had. How many different ways 2 balls could have been selected out of this 6 number of balls. You could have selected this first two, this first two, this first two, this, or the alternation. Anyways, you need not to count all of them. What I'm saying, you need not to count all of them. You can simply use the concept of combination. So here comes again what I'm saying, again, the 6C2 different ways you could have done it. You could have done it. Yes. But now I want how many different ways you could have selected the yellow ball out of it. So obviously you could have selected the first and second, that could have been the first way. You could have selected second and third, that could have been the second way. You could have selected first and third, that could have been the third way. Anyways, manually you can count the thing, otherwise you can simply leave all of the concepts towards the concept of combination only, because the combination is going to count each and everything very perfectly. So what had been happening, out of 3 items, how many different ways the 2 items could have been selected, and that is simply going to be 3C2. So virtually speaking, 3C2 divided by 6C2 is going to be the pakka answer for this given question. Last, the 2 balls are to be selected together and both of the balls has to be blue in color. My dear friend, it has been an impossible event. As you can see, the number of ball which is been contained within this sample space is only been 1. You can take either of the number of trial, but at max you can withdraw only and only 1 blue ball out of it. So how many different ways the 2 balls could have been selected out of 6 number of items? Obviously it must have been 6C2, but you can see there had not been any possibility that the both of the balls which are being taken out has to be in same color, and that too specifically blue. So the value is simply going to be 0. The value is simply going to be 0. So till this point, I don't find any of the student would have any kind of doubt now. What I am going to do now the complete concept is being changed a bit. What I am saying, the complete concepts had been changed a bit. I want both of the balls to be green, both of the balls to be yellow, both of the balls to be blue. But now the balls which are being taken out in succession, one after another. Agreed? And in succession, one after another, the replacement can be made, or the questions can be framed without replacement as well. So what I am going to do now, the complete question has been again recrafted. Let me copy this down. So this has been copied. So here comes the question. Yeah. Here comes the question. So now this is going to be the second question now. This is going to be the second question now. 2 balls are taken together. 2 balls are taken in succession with replacement. In succession with replacement. Then I had to find the probability that the both of the balls are green, then both of the balls are being yellow, and both of the balls are being blue. So let me focus over the first one. What has been the basic scenario? The first ball which has to be taken out has to be green and had been fed back. Again, it has been well mixed. The second ball which has to come out has to be green. So virtually speaking, in orally I can say the first ball which had been withdrawn out of the box is being green. It had been put it back, and the second ball which has also been taken out has to be green. So what had been happened? So let me rub this out. At very beginning you had total 6 number of balls. Among them, how many total number of green balls you had? You yourself would be able to have a little bit look of it. Obviously 2. So how many different ways the one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of balls? That must have been 6C1. And keep in mind the NC1 stands for N only, and that is why I am simply writing this as 6. If you are not able to digest the fact, you can simply take the 6C1 different ways the one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of balls. Among this many ways, how many ways are been of favorable ways? So obviously you can see very well how many total number of green balls we had, the 2 number of green balls we had. So 2C1 different ways, these are been my favorable ways. Simply rather writing it NC1, I had written this as a N only. And I want the second ball to also be a green only. But now the ball which has been taken out, now it had just been observed its color and again it had been fed back. And as it had been fed back, the sample space structure had not been changed. The number of green ball, earlier it was 2, still it has been 2, and the total number of balls which were there within the box is been 6, still it has been 6. So virtually speaking, it is simply going to be 6C2, or I can say it has been 2 divided by of 6 raised to the power of 3. Either way, I can write this as a 1 divided by of 3 raised to the power of 2 as well, raised to the power of 3 as well. The next has been both are being green, the same thing. The both are being yellow. My dear friend, how many total ways I could have selected one ball out of 6 number of different ways? It could have been 6C1. Virtually speaking, NC1 is been N. So simply I am going to write this as a 6. How many different ways a yellow ball could have been selected? There have been total 3 number of yellow balls. So 3C1 different ways, or virtually speaking 3 different ways I could have selected this. So simply it is going to be 3 divided by 6. My dear friend, what happens? The yellow ball which has been picked up is been again fed back to the same structure. Virtually speaking, the sample space, the number of yellow ball has not changed. And again, you want the next ball to be yellow ball only. So virtually speaking, it is again been 3 by 6. 3 by 6. So far, this value was 0 last time, but now it won't be 0. How? Because the first time, the ball which has been taken out is again been fed back. And again, there have been the possibility that you could have taken the same ball out. Anyways, the ball is been blue. How many different ways? How many different ways? The one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of ball, that has been 6. That's been sure. How many different ways the blue ball could have been selected? My dear friend, there had only been one blue ball. And how many different ways you could have selected? Only one way. You could have picked it out and you could have taken out. So virtually speaking, it has been 1. And this has been again 1 by 6 into 1 by 6. Till this point, I don't find any of these students would have any kind of doubt, at least in this way. Now, the question had been changed a bit. Rather taking the same problem with repetition or with replacement, I had taken this problem into form of without replacement. So let me restructurize this problem in a form of without replacement. Two balls are being taken, one after another. One after another. And that too without replacement. Now I want that the two balls are being taken in succession, that the both of the balls are being green in nature. So what had been happening? At very beginning, within your sample space, there have been total 6 number of balls, and you had been selecting one out of them. Why? Because the selection is being taken place in succession. Both of the balls had not been taken together. So virtually speaking, how many different ways the one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of items? It has been 6C1. Virtually speaking, it has been 6 only. How many total number of favorable events we had, my dear friend? In first ball, which I had to withdraw, or which I supposed to withdraw, is to be green only. How many total green balls we had, my dear friend? You yourself would be able to see that. How many total green balls? 2 number of green balls we had. So it is going to be 2 divided by 6. And now the green ball which had been taken out, had been discarded, had not been fed back into the box. Quite okay, sir. And still, next time when I will be putting my hand back into the box, I want the next ball to also be a green only. How it is possible? One ball is already been discarded, so the sample size is being decreased to 5 now. The sample size has been decreased to 5 now. That is quite okay. And even the number of green ball is also been decreased to 1 only. And this has been the answer over there. Next, both to be yellow. The same thing. How many different ways the one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of balls? 6. How many total yellow balls we had? You yourself would be able to see the 3 number of yellow balls we had. So it's simply going to be 3. Now the yellow ball which has been taken out is been discarded. So the total number of balls which are been left out within a box is been just 5. And at the same time, the number of yellow balls are been just left out with 2 only. Similarly, if I take both of the blue ball, so what had been happening? Again, how many different ways the one ball could have been selected out of 6 number of items? It has been 6C1, that stands for 6. the first ball to be blue. Obviously, there are only one different ways I could have selected the first ball to be blue, because within a complete structure only one blue ball we had. One blue ball we had. Is that part clear? And then comes, if that ball is already been taken out, I'm sure about it. If the discardment has been made, there had not been left out any of the blue. So virtually speaking, it is getting multiplied with 0. The result is supposed to be 0. The result is supposed to be 0. Is that part clear to all of us? Till this point, I don't find any of the student would have any kind of doubt now. Any kind of doubt now. Yes. So here comes the next structure as well. And now what had been happening, I have changed this problem a bit. And here I say, two balls are withdrawn in succession. In succession with replacement. And I want one ball to be green and one ball to be blue. And I can understand many of the students would do the mistake at this point, because the structure of the problem is being changed a bit. My dear friend, again, add a box. Total 6 number of balls it carries. Out of 6 number of balls, the 3 balls are been yellow in nature, 2 are been green and 1 is been blue. You want to take one ball after one other ball, and that too with repetition, and you want the one ball to be green and another ball is to be green. What I have been doing over here, let me take this box towards downside. So we will have a better connectivity. So let me get down. How it is possible? This is possible in two different ways. You could have selected the first ball green, that must have been discarded. No, it's been a case of with replacement, so it must have been put it back. Then blue. I should say the first selection was green and the second selection was blue, or alternate way. The first selection is being blue and the second selection is being green. My dear friend, whenever the and do come into the picture while framing the problem, the multiplication takes place, and whenever the or do come into the picture, the addition takes place. So that has been happening over here. Here and term had come, so the multiplication is supposed to come, and here the or term had come, so addition has to supposed to come. Yes. So let me do the calculation over here. So what had been happening? How many green ball you had? 2 green ball you had. How many total ball you had? 6 ball you had. And now what had happened? This has been a case of with replacement. So obviously the ball which you must have taken out, you must have observed it and you must have been fed it back. Virtually speaking, the number of green ball or total number of balls in sample space has never been changed. Still, there are been 6 number of balls. Among them, you had been seeking that ball to be blue. How many number of blue ball we had? Only and only 1. Or there could have been a different possibility as well. Rather taking the first ball as a green than the second as a blue, you could have selected in this way that the first ball which has been taken out is being a blue and the second ball which has been followed by the blue is being green. And in both of the cases, I had been satisfying my requirement, and that's been the difference. Because I can understand many of the students, what they would do, they would just calculate this one. Probably they may forget this or they may forget this, and they will get the wrong answer as well. Anyways, this has been a first case. This has been exclusively second case. How many number of blue ball we had? That has been 1 out of 6. And how many total number of green balls we had? And that has been 2 out of again 6. And this is supposed to be the answer over there. Agreed? Till this point, I don't find any of the students would have any kind of doubt. At least there should not be any doubt as well. Yes. Agreed? Now let me do one thing. Let me change this problem a bit. With replacement and we change to the without replacement. Again, the both of the balls are being selected in succession, but without replacement. without replacement. Again, the same two sequences are getting followed. Either you could have selected the first one as a green, the second one as a blue, or alternate. Just reverse. Just reverse. So, how many different ways you could have selected green out of 6 number of balls? So, total number of green balls are mean 2 out of 6 number of balls. And my dear friend, as this has been a problem of without replacement, what had happened, the green ball which you must have observed had been discarded. So total number of balls within this box is been reduced to 5. And out of that 5 ball, you want the next ball to be blue. The reduction is already been taken place from this box, but that reduction is been from green ball. So obviously, blue ball is been untouched and still it is been 1 out of 5 or. Either I can change this structure. So again, it is going to be 6 number of balls. The first ball is been blue and 5, and here comes green, and green is been 2. So I would request to each one of you, this kind of the questions are been deliberately asked many of the times, and you guys had to manage this problem well. This many different kind of the questions can get framed. Anyways, let me take the next question as well. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer. 90 seconds are been more than adequate for this given question. The question had asked in physics in year of 2017. The problem was framed by IIT Roorkee. The problem states 3 are red socks, 4 green socks, and 3 blue socks. You choose 2 socks. The probability that they are of the same color is. They are from the same color is. Nowhere with replacement, without replacement, with succession, without succession has been marked over this question. Virtually speaking, the both of the socks which are being chosen, they are being selected or collected together. So it's been a problem of collection together. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer. I would like to know from each one of you what has been the best most answer for this given question. Tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. I would like to know from each one of you. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. No answer so far. Tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. At max 1 extra minute I can give to you guys. So again, the timer had been started. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. Tell me what is supposed to be the best most answer for this given question. Anyways, as you can see, there are 3 red socks, 4 green socks, and 3 blue socks. Let's take, you had a bag. Among them, the number of red socks are being 3, and similarly the number of green socks are being 4, and the number of blue socks are being 3. Again, 3, 4, and 3. Yes, the 2 socks are being selected in random. I want the probability that the both of the socks falls from the same color, and that's it required also. My dear friend, if you'll wear a sock, obviously you will try to wear the identical socks. I don't worry whether it has been green, red, or blue, but if first one has been red, at least I'll worry about the second that should also be a red. So this has been a practical question. This has been a practical question. Already you had a box where all of the socks are been well mixed. You have been taking two socks together and you want a situation that those socks you can wear and you can travel. Nobody should laugh on you. Nobody should laugh on you. So it's been a kind of that problem. And as it had been communicated earlier, whenever the selection or the withdrawal has been taken place, that could have been taken place in the three different ways. The first way, all of the items are being selected together at once. The second kind is being the selection is being taken in succession one after another with replacement. You had seen it, you had put it back, and without replacement. Nowhere it had been written that the socks are being chosen in succession one after another with replacement or without replacement. So basically it is going to be my assumption that you had fed your hand inside and together you had taken two socks out. Together you have taken two socks out. So whenever you give a reading to the question, you should also clarify this fact whether this problem has been a problem of selection together or selection one after another. So obviously I would take this problem has been a problem where the selection is being taken together. The next one. In how many different ways I can satisfy the requirement? The socks which had been selected together, both could have been red, or I should say red and red, yes, or both are being green, or both are being blue. In either of the case, I satisfy my requirement that I can wear that pair of socks and definitely I can teach you engineering mathematics, I can say. My dear friend, how many different ways the two items could have been selected out of 4 plus 3, that is been 7, and plus 3, that is been 10, and that is been 10C2. How it has been possible? See, total 10 number of socks you had. You could have selected the first two socks, which has been red, second and third, which is again been red. You could have selected third and fourth, which has been red and green. You could have selected fourth and fifth, both are been green. So virtually speaking, you wants to select the two socks out of 10 total different socks. How many different ways you could have selected? And that has been 10C2. But out of 10C2 different ways, what are the different ways which are been favoring your requirement? And that too you must fall in the same category, is either been this or this or this. So here comes the first one. The both of the socks must fall from the category of 2, or I should select both of the socks from 3 red ball. So it is going to be 3C2 or 4C2, or it is going to be 3C2. And end of the day, you will get the answer as well. Anyways, I feel the calculation of 3C2, 4C2, 3C2 and 10C2 has been quite easy. You can feed it over the calculator and you can get the answer out of it. Anyways, the answer which is supposed to come for this given question is supposed to be D now. And similarly for the last question, where it had been, here it had been probably, just a minute. Yeah, for the last question, the answer is supposed to come as 0.245. 0.245. Let me take the last question of the day. Let me take the PDF itself. And we will take few number of questions from that PDF itself. Just a minute. Let me take few number of questions. So let me take this question, and I can say this has been a random question and easily you will be able to crack this problem out. But still you had to put a bit amount of focus over this question. This has been asked in computer science in year of 2014. The problem was framed by IIT Kharagpur. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. Read it carefully and tell me. Good evening, sir. From tomorrow, you will start EMFT EC on plus. Yes, yes, Suna. That is correct. That is correct. Probably I was not able to see your comments, but now the comments are also been visible. So I would request to each one of you, try to give your answer. This has been a kind of NAT. So the answers are supposed to come in a real number. So tell me what must have been the answer for this given question. If you want, I can start the timer once again. So the timer starts now. What the problem states, the probability that a given positive integer lying between 1 and 100, both inclusive, that means 1 and 100 is also been included, not divisible by 2 comma 3 and 5, 2 comma 3 and 5, 2 comma 3 and 5. Read the problem carefully and tell me what must have been the answer for this given question. I would like to know from each one of you what is been the expected answer from you guys. Read it carefully. Read it carefully. I would like to know from each one of you what is been the expected answer for this given question. Is not divisible by 2 comma 3 and 5. Tell me what must have been the best most answer for this given question. I would like to know from each one of you what is been the expected answer for this given question.